Hey guys! Okay, so today we're here with Abby and business manager Toni, and we'd like to share our experience having gone to therapy. Now, all of us have had therapy with Russ, all for different reasons as well, and we've all had a lot of positives that have come from it. Now, something that I'm so passionate about normalizing and spreading the awareness of is more people feeling comfortable to reach out and have a therapy session. I think it truly has changed my life in so many ways, changed the way that I think, changed my perspective on things. I'm in more control of my emotions. I can make more logical decisions. And I truly believe I would not be the person I am today or in a position that I am in today if I hadn't gone through therapy, if I hadn't healed some old wounds and just overcome some things that was really holding me back. So we'd like to share our experience in order to make people feel more comfortable in reaching out. Now, we understand fully that this is something that is uncomfortable. You are going to feel nervous. You are going to be apprehensive, possibly even anxious. You are going to have to open up to a stranger. But I promise you, in the process of doing so, there are so many positives that will come from it. And you truly will feel so much more confident within yourself. You will understand yourself better. And when you understand yourself, you're able to understand others as well. So I believe it helps build greater relationships. It helps see yourself in a more positive light and be kinder to yourself. And it also helps you achieve your goals because you're no longer held back with insecurities and old triggers. Okay, so we'd like to start off. I mean, Abby, you had your session yesterday with Russ, so I suppose it's pretty fresh. A good time to speak about it.
Yeah.
Firstly, I just want to know, how was you feeling on your way to the session?
On my way, I was actually really nervous. Obviously, it's something that's new to me, so I've never actually had therapy before, so I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know whether it was going to be like, are they just going to ask me loads of questions or what is it going to involve? But I was quite nervous, but then as soon as I got there, Russ, he just made me feel so relaxed. He's such a lovely guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he is a perfect person
nice.
for the job.
And honestly, as soon as you go into that door, it's chilled. He just makes you feel comfortable and relaxed, and I think that's why.
Yeah. So, how long was your session for?
It actually went on for ages, but do you know when you don't actually realise how long it's been because you're so in the moment?
Yeah, for sure.
Because my mum dropped me there, and she was like, okay, well, she didn't really know what to do, so I think she actually waited in the car the whole time. But I think it went on for so my appointment was 4:30. About 90 minutes it was.
Okay.
Quite a long time. But
yeah, and after the session, how did you feel?
I felt honestly so good, and I still feel good now, even today. I just feel I don't know, he's made me realise a lot about what's gone on in my brain and
more clarity.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that is important. Sometimes we can overthink, overanalyze, be hard on ourselves, think we're the only person that thinks this way, think that it's not human to be feeling how we're feeling.
Definitely.
When, Russ made me understand that everything that I was feeling was just a natural reaction. And it was in my control how I wanted to feel. And if I didn't want to be feeling anxious, if I didn't want to be feeling these negative emotions, it was just accepting them rather than trying to run away from them. And sometimes I was using coping mechanisms to just be super busy all the time to avoid having to sit in the moment and feel how I was feeling. Yeah. And then when I realised, it's normal. I'm going to have negative emotions sometimes. I'm going to have bad days. And it's about riding a wave.
Definitely. It's just so interesting to know about your actual, what goes on in your brain. And you've got the two brains and how they both work and that they don't work together. So when you have the emotional state, for me with my binging, it's I had a binge brain and then a normal brain and you cannot control that emotional brain, so that's why I used to binge so much, because I couldn't control that part of my brain.
That is why people literally use the word, it's an out of body experience. You're out of control when you're binging, because you literally are. You're not thinking logically at all.
No.
And then people think there's something wrong with them, and it's not at all.
No.
It's just about not allowing yourself to get into as much of an emotional state.
Yeah, so
it's
made me realise you have to think of the things to why you was in that state, and you have to kind of relax and make that, I don't know, emotion not come, because it shouldn't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, not letting it control you and
Yeah,
overwhelm
not letting
you.
it control you. Yeah, by doing the things that I am doing, and he's just made me realise that you are in control. Like you really are.
So I think the biggest thing that you was feeling anxious about, the reason why I referred you to Russ, is because your birthday's coming up.
Yeah.
You have a night away, don't you, at a hotel, food planned, and you was feeling anxious, right?
Yeah, so obviously I recovered through lockdown, so I'd never had access to go to any restaurants or anything. Obviously I was having my pizza, but I was never able to go to any restaurants, so that's still quite new. So it'll be the first time for me to go to a restaurant since being in recovery.
Do you feel better about it now?
Yeah, so much better. He just put me in such a relaxed place that I know I'm going to have such a good time and I'm not going to worry about the food. And he's just made me realise that I really am in control, and that old me isn't me anymore, because that was my emotional state, which I'm not in anymore. So I can just, he literally just shut off that me and made me realise, like, you're like at the end of the tunnel, like that's gone, like literally gone.
Gives you more confidence.
So it's like,
and do you know what, my concern was the more you was getting anxious, the more emotional you was getting, the more of an emotional state, and then I could see your emotions building up because you was getting worried. So that is why I wanted to get that clarity and refer you to Russ.
As he said, like, once your emotions are there, you can't control them. So when you're just relaxed, that's when you'll be fine. And another way that's so powerful to get rid of our emotions is by speaking about them. So many of us avoid it, and we think people are going to judge us. I personally was at a place where I didn't know who to turn to, and I was thinking I was going to get judged. People would think I was being stupid. I was thinking people are looking at me in order for me to help them. How can I now turn to people and want help? Like, who can help me when I'm always helping people? So I was just a little bit lost and feeling lonely in that position. So when I found Russ, it was a complete outsider, no one who knew anything about me or my life, only what I was willing to share and wanting help with. And I think when, it's somebody who has no input in your life, no emotional attachment, the advice that they can give is just incredible. It's so easy to be able to look into a situation and see full clarity than if it's a parent or a partner who has that emotional involvement in your life. Okay, so now we go on to Toni's story. This is a bit of a funny one. So when I first went to therapy, me and Toni have been friends for years now. When I first went to therapy, it just changed my life. And I was like, wow, why was I so ashamed to be booking a therapy session? Why was I so ashamed to tell anybody and be feared of being judged? And I just really wanted more people to feel confident to go without feeling like it was a crazy thing to be doing. Because when I went to therapy, I didn't know anybody else that had been. I think maybe one person had advised me, and I was like, oh, am I being dramatic, or is it even something that I need? Then when I went, I was like, do you know what? This is an absolute game changer. Everyone should go. This is an investment in yourself. This is actually like so valuable. So many people should be doing this. So then me and Toni met up for coffee one day, just general chit chat. And I was like, do you know what? I feel like there's potentially a little bit of trauma in your past that a therapy session could iron that out and you could excel them further forward. So it was just like on my mind, wasn't it?
Yeah, God, where do I start? I definitely wouldn't have gone to a therapy session if Shannon hadn't have booked it. I was very much of the closed mindset. I worked in the construction demolition industry at the time, pretty from Invincible, and talking about your mental health, you don't really talk about your mental health too openly in that industry. So when Shannon booked the session, I went because I trusted her, and it was the best thing I could have done. I did have some trauma that I needed to deal with, and if you know me well, you would know that I'm not an open book when it comes to talking about personal issues. So even though I hadn't really told Shannon about what had happened, I think she knew that I needed the session. So I went along, and the biggest thing for me to get over was the loss of my dad. And actually that was the one thing that was really holding me back from progressing in my career and just personally, being a better person and being able to help other people and listen to their problems and deal with my own problems. When it comes to my emotional state, Russ really helped me with that and made me realise that all of my really extreme decisions to do things was probably made in an emotional state, not a logical state at all.
I think that's what we had in common.
Yeah.
So Russ made me identify the fact that I was making spontaneous decisions. Like I was laughing it off, kept making these decisions, finding it hilarious, dealing with the consequences. Then I was like, no, do you know what? This is actually holding me back now. I can't keep finding this funny. This needs to be corrected. And then when I was meeting with Toni, she was like, I've made this crazy decision. And we're laughing. And then I was like, do you know what? You can get through this as well. Like you can identify the fact why you're making these decisions. And I think it was game changer, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. And I mean, some decisions were a little bit extreme and other ones were just off the record. Totally off the record. And, you know, it's definitely made me who I am. I'm very diverse, even down to like my hobbies.
Yeah, we were getting into crazy hobbies. You went and got a gun license.
Yeah. And then decided I need to do something tranquil to combat the gun license. So I got a paddleboarding license. And then, God, we started tennis, started training again, and just all these things, like booked a one-way flight to Bulgaria.
I moved my life abroad.
Shannon went to Dubai. So, you know, we really kind of related that there were things that we were probably trying to get away from here that we didn't necessarily know how to deal with. So sitting down with Russ and really understanding what triggered those decisions and what actually was in the background that needed to be dealt with, that once we'd dealt with them, we both excelled. And then eventually we've ended up coming back together to work.
Yeah, actually, crazy story. Wasn't even a sort of friendship where we spoke every day at all,
No.
was it? Maybe a couple of months ago past, ping a message, how are you feeling, how you doing? And then we just, collided back together, having both seen Russ as well. And then now it's kind of all come together. And I truly believe, like, things always work out exactly how they should. That is why I'm always so thankful for the journey that you go through. The pain makes you who you are. The pain gives you strength. And without life experiences, you can't move forward and help others. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I would really appreciate any feedback that you guys have to give. So drop a comment, message me, message any of us. Feedback is always welcome. And if there's any specific topic that we can help you further on or elaborate further, then please do let me know. And we just want to keep bringing value, keep bringing content and awareness to this specific topic that we feel is just so underspoken about. So thank you guys. Please like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and we'll be back with plenty more content.